Thank you for taking the time to watch this short video on how to use WINspect Next. So this video is going to take you through sort of the step-by-step on how to actually enter and deliver a report through WINspect Next. It assumes you've already gone through the remark library and so you understand how the remark library works. And it also assumes that you've gone through the template editor and made changes to your templates, and so you understand how to set up your defaults and how all of that works. And it assumes that you've also gone ahead and set up filters to properly sort the order in which your checklist will appear. So I've started WINspect Next, and I'm logged in as my user Joe Schmo. And in my upper left-hand corner, I show my current and upcoming inspections, and I don't have anything current or upcoming. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this Synchronize button. This is the same as the Get Orders button in WINspect Classic, if you're familiar with that. This will just basically go out to WinConnect and pull over any orders that have not been synchronized. And so I'll just click on the Synchronize Order button. Takes a few seconds, and then I end up with a new upcoming inspection. And so when I click on upcoming, I show the address of the inspection and the order ID and the date and time. And it's assigned to me, Joe Schmo. And I can do one of three things. I can edit this order, this inspection order, to make changes. Maybe the address is spelled wrong, maybe there's something wrong with the zip code or something like that. And I can click on Edit Inspection and get to a screen where I can access these items. I can also go in and take a look at any inspection reports that have already been assigned to this order. So unlike WINspect Classic, WINspect Next, you can assign as many inspection report forms as you'd like to an order. So if you're doing a duplex or a triplex and you want to do a single inspection report for each unit, you would just start a new report and add a report for Unit A, and then you'd start a report, add a report for Unit B, and so on and so forth. And then each of those individual report forms is a standalone report. It can have its own pictures, can have its own narrative, and would generate its own report. So you could deliver a report for Unit A to the people buying Unit A, and a report for Unit B to the people buying Unit B. And then the last button here from the dashboard is the plus button, which starts a new report. And so that's the same as clicking that Add Report button from the View Inspection screen. This is just a shortcut. And so when I click on this, and this is how I'm going to launch any new report, the first thing it tells me is it tells me that I've got an extended full home inspection and I'm doing an ancillary radon inspection. Okay, so these are two different reports that I want to create for this order. And so let me deal with the extended full home first. And so I choose a template, in this case WinStructure. All building inspections, as you already know, belong under WinStructure. Whether it's a condo, multiplex, commercial, single family, multifamily, doesn't matter, they're all WinStructure. And it's the filter that further defines whether it's a condo or a standard full home or an extended full home. And in this case, I'm going to use extended full home. And then I have this name field. And this is something that you'd want to use is if you're using doing multiple unit inspections, an inspection for Unit A, an inspection for Unit B, and so on, to differentiate the two different or three different reports. Otherwise, they look exactly the same. You'll be confused as to which report you're actually working on. In this case, since I've got one home, it's extended family inspection, I'm not going to deal with the name, and I just hit Start Report. So what WINspect is doing is it's caching all of the information for the report, all the template settings, the entire remark library, everything. At this point, I could go offline. I could turn off my Wi-Fi connection, or I can unplug my wire. I could put this machine to sleep. I can take it out on site. I can open up the computer, bring it back up from sleep mode, go into the browser without having any internet connection at all, and I can go ahead and do the entire inspection. I can add my photos. I can generate the actual PDF file, so I could bring it up and show the client what the report's going to look like, right? All being offline. Then as soon as I have an internet connection, WINspect will synchronize all of that data up to the cloud, back it all up, put all the photos up there, and then you'd be able to actually post the report to WinConnect and deliver the report to the clients and agents. So once you're on this screen, once you're on the checklist screen, you can be offline. You don't need any internet connection at all. So let's talk about the inspection screen. We have some navigation buttons that will take you to all of the reports for this specific address, any of the recent reports, and I can go back to the dashboard with these navigation buttons. I can also just click on the dashboard icon here or the reports icon here to get back to those. That type of maneuver requires internet. So if you're offline, don't go to the Go and try to manipulate and go to different places. WINspect will warn you that there's no internet connection and you may not be able to get back to the report if you end up offline and try to navigate off. The summary button will show you all items that you've assigned to the summary report. And I'll get to that in a minute because right now I don't have anything assigned to my summary report. The PDF button is used to generate a PDF version of the file. This is the same as hitting the print button in WINspect Classic. It generates a PDF file, it brings the PDF file up. From there you can save it, you can email it, you can do whatever you want, but that's not the method you want to use for delivery. The method you want to use for delivery is this complete button. The complete button will take the PDF file, it will send it over to WinConnect, it will tell WinConnect that the inspection report is done, and that will set things into motion on the WinConnect side to deliver the report to your clients and agents. And using that method, you then get the protection of delivering a report to a client who maybe hasn't signed the agreement. WinConnect's going to stop them from viewing that inspection report until the agreement is signed. So always use the complete button to deliver your reports out of WINspect. Don't just print the PDF file or use the email PDF function from Adobe Reader. The import button is used when you're on site if you determine that you don't have a category in your report that you need. For instance, maybe there's a detached garage and the only thing you have in your checklist is an attached garage. What you would do is you could use the import button to bring in a category that currently isn't in the report. And so if I click on the import button, first off it shows you everything that's currently in the report. So maybe I have a basement space. So I can go ahead and click import because it's not currently in the report. It adds it, it shows it's in report. And if I go all the way down to the bottom, my basement category has been added. Now if I want to go ahead and move this around, all I need to do, and I'll just select something else so that the basement is all sealed up here, is I can just drag the little hamburger button and maybe I'll put it up here under structure. And so now my basement category is right here. And so again, I can move any of these around. All I have to do is just drag the hamburger button and move things up and down. Just like in the template, when you're in the template editor, we show all the different cover pages that are included in the report. But where the report really starts is this general information tab. The general information section should always be not printed. Not printed. And that's what this little printer icon is. Because all of the information in general information, all of this information is used in other places in the report. So there's no reason to have this section printed as part of the report. It's an extra page and it's redundant. So if for some reason your inspection general information section looks pink like this and the printer icon is not selected, click toggle print, right, and set it not to print. This would be something that you would want to go into the template editor and make sure is set like this in your template so that you don't have to keep doing it every single time. But we do collect some very important information in the Inspection General Information tab. I can mark here if the seller agent, the buyer's agent, or the client are present at the inspection. Maybe the seller's agent isn't. I can do the weather. Maybe it's raining. Temperature, it's 42 degrees today. Approximate year built, floors, bedrooms, bathrooms, structure, foundation. All these items come from WinConnect. So if in the WinConnect order this information is correct, great. Just leave these variables the way they are. If you either don't collect the information in WinConnect, or you realize, oh, gee, it said it was a 3-bedroom house and it's really a 4-bedroom house, all I need to do is come in here and type in 4 and just replace the replacement variable. The cover pages will use whatever is in these boxes as the actual data. So maybe the bathrooms are correct from the WinConnect order, but the number of bedrooms wasn't. And so I'll go ahead and I'll select 4 bedrooms here. Same with structure, same with foundation. And then we have main entry door faces, just like we used to have. It was a little radio button in WinspecT Classic. We'll say that the main entry door face is east. And then we have the inspection optional name. This would be if you were doing a limited, like a roof inspection or a major systems inspection. You just type in major systems or roof. It will change it on basically the printed report that you generate from the PDF file. So once you're done with general information, it's a matter of just going through an inspection report like you normally would. So we'll start with main entry door. And so when we look at main entry door, the very first thing we've got here is something called general statement. And again, the general statement I've got set as not to print, right? Because most of the time I don't have general statements. Everything fits into one of the questions. However, there will be those times where you want to have some sort of general statement, and you can come in here and I can show my remark, and I can add a remark just by clicking the new button. Again, this is basically how you were setting up the template, right? You'd search the library using the search button, search area, use the library button to select remarks, or use the new button to create new remarks. But this is a general statement. This would be things that are above and beyond all of the questions. If you have a question on how to use that, just give myself or Pat a call and we'll talk about that. For the most part, and again, by default from the template, I have that set to not print, and I also have it set to being done. And the little button here, the target button, is the done button. So as I'm going through my report and I complete items, I just click the done button. And I'll show you what that looks like. So maybe my correct application is correct. You'll see here that I have the yes in the box. I also show that I've got a remark, right? Remarks is in red, the number 1, and then I have a button here to show. And so when I click show, what I show here is I show the remark that's already set up by the template. The main entry door appears to be of proper construction and application. If that's correct, there's nothing else I need to do, and I just hit the done button. And by clicking on the done button, it rolls everything up. It shows that I've got a remark here with this little icon, so I know that there's a remark here. And I just move on to the next item, which is door fit. And door fit, it says functional, and it has a remark. The main entry door appears to fit fine. Maybe the door fit isn't correct. Maybe it sticks. So maybe I want to mark this as attention. Well, you'll notice that when I moved it to attention, a new item appeared. A new remark has appeared, and it says the main entry door is not functional, replace, or repair as necessary. So if that's the statement I want, but I don't want this one, I just click the trash can icon and it goes away. Currently, there is a setting that will prompt you to confirm your deletions. You may want to leave that on, you may want to leave that off. If you don't want that setting, if you don't want to be prompted, it's under Manage, under Office, and then there's a Settings tab. I'm not going to leave the report. I'll go there in a little bit. So the main entry door repair place is necessary. If I want to edit this statement, I've got a couple of options. I can click on the pencil, and it gives me all sorts of editing features. I can do text and background color, and I can bullet list, and I can add tables, and I can do all sorts of cool things to my comment. But if I'm just trying to make a quick issue, maybe the main entry door is not functional. Maybe I want to type something in there like it appears to stick in the upper left-hand corner. I can go ahead and I can just click on that pencil icon and save it. Or what I could just do if I'm just making a really quick change, I can just click in here and type in my change. This is a change. When I click out of it, that change is saved, right? I don't need to actually click on the pencil icon and click the save icon and everything like that. It's saved. And this is going to go to my maintenance because it's checked off for maintenance. When I'm done with that, I just move it up. I just say it's done. Weather strip, maybe it's functional. Finish, functional. All I have to do is just click on this button. Now again, if you've set up the template like I've recommended, and you've set up that template to show a report for a home that has no issues, and the only thing you have to go in here and change are the things that are different, that are not correct, right? So then I just go through and say deadbolts are good, color visibility is good, and I just click done, done, done. Or if I know that the rest of the main entry door is complete, all I have to do is click the done button at the top. And that marks the whole thing as done. And then I just go down to my next one, structure, perimeter, exterior. And again, start at the top. Now it looks like structure, perimeter, exterior, I actually have a statement here. It's not going to print. It's a default statement set up by my template. It's not going to print because I've got the printer check marked off as not printed. But here is a general statement that you may have for certain situations. And if this is the correct situation to use it, I'll mark it as print. And now it's going to be printed in my report. It's still marked as done. I don't need to do anything with it. Now I could say maybe it's an attention item or a maintenance item. I would just type in attention, maintenance, action required, or whatever. You don't have to do that, right? I can mark it to the summary by checking the box, but I don't have to do that, right? And now it's just a matter of going through. If the foundation material, maybe it's not concrete, maybe it's block. Okay, there's no issue. Vent covers, maybe there's an issue with the vent covers. Maybe it's a maintenance issue. Notice how nothing came up. So I don't have a default for maintenance for vent covers. So what I could do here is I could type in covers. Well, here is a maintenance statement, right? Some of the vent covers in the exterior garage need repair. Maybe this isn't the right one. Okay. Functional, good, repair, right? Maybe this is it. All that I have to do is hit use. And now I'm using that remark. So I searched for it just by typing in a word, and I used it. If, for instance, there was no remark in the search results, I could just click on library, and it will take me into the library, and it'll show me all of the items that are marked for structure, perimeter, exterior, vent cover. Okay, and I can just use whatever I want, and here it is. Or if there really isn't anything in my library, I can click on new. Maybe it's a maintenance item, so I click on maintenance. Notice that I have this area called summary remark that appears. When I uncheck it, I don't have it. When I check it, I do. If it's a maintenance item, make sure you type your remark in this summary item or summary remark box. If it's just going to appear in the main body of the report, don't click that. Type the remark in here. Do not put text in both. Do not put text in both. We're going to work on unifying the interface that we just basically changed this name from body remark to summary remark. We haven't gotten there yet. Just be mindful that when you check maintenance, your text goes here. So I type in my text. If I want, I can go ahead and, again, do font color. Maybe I want this to be red. So I go ahead and I click on that, and I click on red. Okay. Maybe I want it background in yellow to really highlight the heck out of it. So I do something like that. Sure. Right? Maybe I want maintenance to be bold. I have full font control, basically. Now, this remark currently is just for this report. It's not going to save permanently to the database. It's just for this individual report. If I want this to be saved for the database, what I would do is I would go ahead and tag it. Structure perimeter, vent covers, and then I would give it a description. Now, not only am I adding it to this report, but I'm also saving it to my library for future use. Now I could go into my template editor, and I can assign this remark to appear when I choose maintenance next to vent covers. So if you find that you're doing that, if you're adding items and you go, oh, this would be really good, I should probably add this to my template, make a note of it. When you're done with the inspection, then you can go into the template editor, and again, just follow the instructions for editing the template, and you can go ahead and assign that as a default. Again, once I'm done, I mark it as done and I move on. So it's pretty much that easy. All you need to do is go through. When you've got a response, you've got a remark. If this remark is good and we're done, just hit the done button. We just do that. So we get to a point where we're going to want to do photos. And so I'm going to show you how to insert photos into the report. So I'm just going to bring up a folder that I have that have some inspection photos in them. And I want to make sure you understand that when you take photos at an inspection, you're using, let's say, a camera, you're taking photos at a high resolution. And these photos are going to be pretty big. So as a matter of fact, I'll show you the details of these pictures. These are all very large pictures, right? 5 megabyte picture. If you're taking high resolution pictures and you've got 100 of them and they're all like 5 megabytes, right? That's 5 gigabytes of photographs that you're going to try to force into a report. And so what WINspect is going to do is WINspect is going to automatically resize these pictures when you bring them in, right? And so when you bring them in, these might be, here's a 2 meg picture all the way up to 5 meg picture. And so if I go ahead and I just take these photos and I just drag them into my report, see how it compresses them, right? 45K, 75K, right? These are not the original sizes. And if you are going to be in a situation where you need to provide original photos for arbitration or something, you're not going to be able to rely on the photos that WINspect is storing. You're going to need these original pictures that are saved on your computer. So if you take your camera and you plug it into your computer, you take the memory card out and you plug it into your computer, you're going to want to save these pictures somewhere on your computer that you're going to back up, like your desktop. If you're a user of WinSpec Classic, go ahead and use your ptemp folder structure. You'll just need to create a folder for these pictures to reside in, and you can just use the order ID or the work order number or whatever and store the pictures on your computer, and then backing up your computer like you normally do will make sure that you have original photos if you need them. But once they're loaded into WinSpect, we can go ahead and just grab a picture, and let's just say it's a vent screens issue, and drop it. Just drag it in and drop it. If I want to edit the picture, I single click on the picture and it brings up an editor. And here I can go ahead and I can maybe add a rectangle. Maybe I want to put a rectangle around this, or maybe I want to put an arrow. It's just as easy as that. If I decide I don't want the rectangle, I just click on it and hit delete on my keyboard. Pretty easy. I can make the head size of the arrow bigger just by clicking on head size. So now I've got this more small arrow and a larger arrow. If I don't like that, or click delete, I can put text onto the picture. It'll make it red, 40 point. So there it is. If I can move it like that. And then when I'm done, I just click the Save button. And now here's my edited photo. My edited photo is now part of my photo library, along with the original picture right above it. And I could use either of these again in the report further on, just by dragging it over and dropping it in. If one of these pictures is the picture of the home that I want to use on my cover page, I just click on this icon right here, Set Property Photo, and it moves that picture to the top. So instead of having the Win logo on the cover page, now I have a picture of the house on the cover page. It's that easy. And then I just continue going. Now once I've gone ahead, maybe I have some cracks here. Maybe I do I have nothing in my library for that. Check my library. Okay, so I don't have anything in my library for cracks over 1/4 inch. Maybe a maintenance. Maybe I just want it for this report, so I'll add remark. Maybe there's a picture associated with that. Drag this, drop it in, done. So now let's say I've gone through the report, and I want to take a look and see what's on my summary. So I can click the summary button here. And this will show me all of the items that are on my summary report. If I find that I need to edit this, I just click Edit, come in here and edit it, and hit Save. If I want to remove it, I just click the Delete button. Now it says, also remove remark and associated photos from the body of the report. So when you click the Delete button, you can delete it from just the summary and leave it in the report by unchecking the box. Or you can say, no, I don't want this remark, any photo or anything appear in this report at all, in which case you leave that checked and click Delete Remark. So you have sort of a choice. Maybe it's not supposed to be in the summary report, but it's flagged to summary. You just want to get it out of the summary report. You just uncheck the box and hit Delete Remark. And now it's still in the report. It's just not in the summary report. When you're done looking at your summary, go ahead and click Close. So when you're done editing all of the report, adding your photos, you can go through quickly. You'll notice that when you add a photo and then you've marked it as done, you get a little photo icon. So I've got an icon here that represents I've got a comment, and I've got a photo icon here that represents I have a photo. So just by looking at the screen, I can tell where my remarks are and where my photos are. Very easy. Um, but let's say I want to go ahead and take a look at what my finished report is going to look like to the client. So I go ahead and I click the PDF button to generate the PDF file. And again, this is not how you're going to deliver the report. This is just so you can see what the client's going to see when they get the report. And once the report is generated, it appears down here in the lower section of the browser. So I click on the report. And here I've got my main cover page with the picture of the home and all the information about the inspection, my not a warranty explanation of terms. Here's my cover page. So here's the main entry door faces east. That's what I set in that general information section. Again, this is why I don't need that general information to print as its own section in the report, because all that information appears someplace else. And so here I've got my site information. Here's the 4 bedrooms I manually entered. It's 3 bathrooms, 2 floors. Right? Site information, client information. Notice I don't have any buyer's or seller's agent information in here. It's because I didn't have any in the original order. But they are present at the inspection. The seller's agent is not. Let's say I do need to get that seller's agent and buyer's agent into the system. So all I would need to do is go into WinConnect, and I'll log in to my WinConnect site. And I just go to View Inspections. And here I am in my Marcus Johnson. I'll edit that inspection report by clicking on the pencil. And then maybe it's our friend John Donaldson. He's our buyer's agent, and our seller's agent is Rita Selma. So here's Rita's information. So I'll just go review, and I'll save the order. I don't need the PDF file of the previous generated report, so I just come back into WINspect. I'll go to my dashboard, and I'll click Synchronize. So now when I go back into my report, and again I just click Edit here, and I click on the PDF button to generate my PDF file. So now when the report comes up, I click on that, and I'll scroll down to my cover page, and now I've got all of my agent's information in the report. It's very easy. I just go into WinConnect, I make my change, I save it, I resynchronize in WINspect, and I generate my report. And here's my report now with my completed cover page. Notes on the cover page, that's done in this general information in this notes field. So I can go ahead and just put in new notes that appear on the cover page. Now you might have a default note that you want on every inspection. Great, just do this in the template. And then every time you build your inspection, the note will appear. And now when I regenerate my report, that note will be on that cover page. So again, this whole section doesn't need to print. Everything in this section, including the notes, appears somewhere else in a more logical location. So again, if this is set to print like this, don't print it. So let's take a look at some more pages of the report here. So here's my summary report. Notice that, again, color, bold, things like that are working in this report. It's different than WINspect Classic, I get that. But it does, I believe, it enhances the report by being able to add color. The photos. And then I go into my home inspection details. And you'll notice here's my door fit. That's my door fit statement right here. Just like in WINspect Classic, it appears in the main body in italics. And here's the italics version of my vent covers item. And aside from that, and then here's the picture I didn't have assigned to the summary report. But pretty much, this looks just like a WINspect report looks. Nothing different about that. So let's talk about that radon, right? Remember, we need a radon report. So I can go back to my reports interface. This is the report I was just working on, most recently, or reports within the last 7 days. Here it is at the top. Both of them function the same way. I can click on the I button. Here I've got my Win structure. I can start a new report. In this case, I'll do a radon. Now there's no filters with radon, there's no real checklist with radon, it's basically just filling out the radon form. And I'll start that report. And then here I just fill out this form. This is very similar to what we have in WINspect Classic. I just choose the type of device. I go ahead and I can choose a serial number, put in the dates. It'll calculate the amount of time the devices were in place. Maybe I picked it up, the device result was 3.5. Placement time, retrieval time, it's in place 52 hours, the test results are 3.5. And then based on my tests, I can go ahead and either have my protocol where it's below or above. I can have remarks saved. I can have this all saved up in the template editor. Again, all of this is controllable through the template. This is from a one-device test. If I am doing a two-device test, I just use the two-device test, right? If I'm using the one-device test and I'm not using the two-device test, just mark the two-device test as not printed, and it just makes it so it doesn't print. All of these a lot of this stuff can be set up again in the template editor. You only do one device tests, so just mark out the two device test as default, and then you don't have to worry about it. And again, I can go ahead and look at its PDF file just by clicking on the PDF button, and then click on its file. And then here's the radon test results sheet. Again, fairly similar to what we had in WINspect. WINspect crammed everything onto the main cover page, and we only had one page. This, I think, gives you a little bit more of a cover page feel. You can have some notes that are specific to the radon report on the cover page, and then the report results itself on its own page. So when I'm done with these reports, I can go back into report. Notice how I've got this button is green. I've got unsaved work. I tried to leave and go to some place outside of my report, and it prompted me. It says, hey, you've got unsaved work. Are you sure you want to leave? I'll hit no, I don't want to leave. I'll hit save. Now it turns white. Now I'm saved. It would normally save in a couple of seconds anyways, but I want to make sure it's saved. So now I can come back to reports. This is my WinRadon report, right? It's the most recently worked report, and if I look under reports for the last 7 days, I've got two at the same address. One is my structure, one is my radon. So when I'm done with my structure, I've looked at the PDF, I've previewed it, I like what it looks like, I'm ready to go. I'm going to click the complete button. And I'm going to deliver this, since it's my building inspection, I'm going to deliver it to WinConnect as a report. It says, okay, we're going to deliver this as a report. You ready? I'm going to hit submit. It's generating the PDF file just like if I were going to view it. And then it sends it up as a report. Now, I do have an option right here of emailing the report. I can go in here and it'll take me to WinConnect and it'll let me just right now fire off the report to the client. But I'm going to close that interface. If I go to WinConnect and I refresh this page, because it was already up, I want to refresh it and have it reread. Here I've got my one-day follow-up. I've got my sending report as a link to my buyer's agent, my sending report as a link to the client. It's queued and ready to send, all just by posting the report. Just by posting the report in WINspect. I don't have to do any of this, it's just all automatic. The reason why WINspect prompts you or gives you the ability to email the report is, let's say it's 2 days later. The report's already been delivered. Client's already gotten it and says, hey, great, I'm waiting on those radon test results. Okay, so it's 2 days later. You've got your radon. You go in, you edit the report, put in your findings, right? You're going to put in, when you picked it up, and it'll figure out how many hours. You're going to put in your results. And now you're going to complete this report. Well, this is not a building inspection report. This is an ancillary. And so any ancillaries you want to upload as an attachment. And so we'll say yes. And by default, it's a public attachment. Public attachments mean anybody who can read the report can read the attachment, which is what you want to do with this. And so we'll hit submit. And again, it generates the PDF file and sends it over to WinConnect. But in this case, WinConnect has probably already delivered the report, certainly if it's 2 days later, right? And you want to alert your client that, hey, you've just uploaded the radon results. Now, if the client just happens to go to the email they received from When Connecting, they click on the link that they originally got, it's going to work. They're going to see both. But they don't know to click on that link. So you can call them and you can tell them, or just click on Email Report. It brings up WinConnect. It takes you right to the email report screen. Add the client, add the buyer's agent, and maybe even say, hi there, I have loaded the radon test results. Send report. So now your client and agents are going to get a separate email, a second email, alerting them to the fact that you've updated that report, or you've updated the report with the ancillary services or whatever. It gives you the opportunity to reach out and talk to your client without having to launch WinConnect, go into inspection, view inspection, click on a lot of buttons. It basically takes all of that extra work out of it. Okay, you just push a button that says email it, click it, your client, click your agent, type in a message if you want, it's optional, and off you go. So now if I'm looking at WinConnect, here's my building inspection, here's my radon ancillary service, it's a public attachment, everything's been sent, it looks like my email events are going to go, the report has been emailed to John Donaldson, he hasn't viewed it yet. I mean, this is all WinConnect stuff, right? It's all nicely attached to WINspect. Next to the complete button, there's a drop-down box, and this drop-down box does have some settings in it that I'll talk about. Probably most importantly is go offline. So if you are on site and you're using your telephone as a hotspot, or you've got a hotspot, mobile hotspot from your provider, and you've got great service and it's fast, that's fine. Be online. But if you're in an area that's sort of spotty and you don't have great service, it cuts in and out, or it's really, really slow, I would recommend either turning off the hotspot and going offline, or just telling WinConnect or WINspect to go offline. And what this will do is it will stop WINspect from attempting to save and attempting to synchronize data and attempting to send photos, because if you've got a good connection, it works great. If you've got a bad connection, it's going to be frustrating. It's going to slow you down. And so instead of trying to, synchronize on a bad connection, just go offline. WinConnect is going to store everything in cache, again, just like if you didn't have an internet connection at all. And then when you're ready, go to Starbucks or turn on your hotspot when you have better signal, bring up WinConnect, go back online, and everything will then synchronize. Right? And at that point, then you can complete the order and send it off to your clients and stuff like that. Display mode lets you change the view based on the type of device that you're working on, and right now it's set to auto. So WINspect knows that I'm on a PC, it knows I'm on a PC-based browser, and so it gives me this view. If I'm on a tablet, like an iPad, it will show us a different view, and if I don't like that view, right, I can force it to always use my desktop laptop view. And so that's what these are for. And then I can go ahead and I can reassign the inspector. Maybe Joe Schmo didn't do the inspection, maybe Pat Knight did. And then there are some settings that I can control. For instance, auto hide all remarks. That's when I go into my report and everything's hidden and I had to click the show button. We do that to save space. So you don't have to scroll through all of the empty comment boxes, because again, most of the time you're not going to have comments assigned to everything, and so why show that if you don't have anything to see? But there are some options here that you can go through. Not encrypting PDF file. Normally it's encrypted so nobody can copy and paste out of it or cut it up or make edits to it. If you've got an agent that wants to be able to copy and paste and put it into another document, just mark the do not password encrypt, then regenerate the report and send it off to them, and then they'll be able to copy and paste out of it. But that's pretty much all there is to entering reports into WINspect. Save that, go back to the dashboard. So let's talk about Manage and Office. We've got some settings in here. And what we've got here is we've got these three things at the bottom here, two of which you'll have access to. Do not prompt confirmation when deleting sections and subsections from report or template. You don't have the ability to delete sections or subsections out of the template. However, we are working on the ability for you to delete a section out of a report. So if you have an attached garage and a detached garage section in your report, and you only have an attached garage, you should be able to delete the detached garage subsection. Currently, just mark the whole thing as not printed. So what that means is, let me bring up the report again. So if I decide that I don't have an attached garage section, I could manually click the don't print on every question. Tedious. But what I really can do is just say don't print on the entire category. And that marks everything as not printed. It rolls everything up so it's out of the way. And I just move on. If I decide I need to detach the attached garage, I can just mark it there, and it just makes everything printable again. Same thing goes with the done button. I can click done, and it marks the whole thing as done. Or I can undo it and mark the whole thing as not done. And we are working on getting this header bar right here down at the bottom. So as you're going through and you come down to the bottom, you can then just mark the whole thing as being done instead of going back up to the top and doing it. So that's a feature that we're working on. But we will soon have the ability to just go ahead and press a trash can icon up here in the report that would then remove this section from the report, or this category from the report. We have the confirmation for deleting remarks and the same confirmation for deleting photos. So if you want to just delete a remark and not be prompted, hey, do you want to delete this remark? Just set that, and then when you delete a remark, it just goes away. There's no confirmation. If you're a business owner, like Joe here is a business owner, we can go ahead and set this top one, do not allow level 3 users to edit remarks. What this will do is it will keep inspector users, who are not business owners, from making permanent changes to the master library. Okay, they can make their own changes to their own items in their own reports, but they can't make changes to the master library. This helps keep one consistent library for all users. Whether you want to do it or not, it's up to you. There are a lot of things that WINspect can do, right? It's a lot more than WINspect Classic can do, and it gives us a platform where we can expand on what WINspect can do in the future. I appreciate you taking the time. It's about a 45-minute video. I do appreciate you taking the time and viewing this. Go ahead and give me a call with any questions, and I'll be more than happy to work with you. Have a great day.